especially sharing this crucial issue that concerns African Union. I will agree that African Union is really a failure. We must have the courage to say it boldly as an African, because if you want to repair a broken engine, first you must acknowledge the problem. And the problem is that African Union is not serving the cause of Africa. Let's go from the beginning. When we speak about African Union, we must see some things that speak the voice of Africa, that represent one Africa. The question is, does the real African Union speak as a united institution? The answer is no. And when we speak about geopolitics, we see that Africa is divided. One side, the French-speaking, and another side, the English-speaking. And you can see that the two sides do not come to the table to speak the same language. And in terms of geopolitics, why? Because you will find that the French-speaking, beyond them, you will see the former French colonial pulling the string there, and then to the other side of the Commonwealth also, you will find that there are politics playing back doors around there, and for Africa to speak as one voice, it's becoming very complicated. So for the EU to play a role that really will make sense for Africa to function, we need to bring together the French-speaking and English-speaking and sit at the table and find a common position and now functioning as a one voice. And that's which really change will comes in. Now, another issue is that for African Union to impose its influence, I mean, it must be heard when it's speaking. And now it looks like nobody's listening to what African Union is speaking. I mean, imagine a house where the husband stand up is talking and the wife or the children are not responding. I mean, you can see that is a family that is called to fail. It's the same with the African Union. I'm going to give an example of how African Union is really a case of dysfunctionality. South Africa come out defending what we call the respect of international law. And if you look at the concept of respecting international law, protecting itself, the issue of sovereign protection of every country across the world, you know. And when we see African Union not coming out in support of South Africa, I mean, you can see that something is wrong with it. Because the same issue of the respect of international order that South Africa was putting on the table across all the world is the same issue that we see the right of African country being violated many times, you know, by the outsider. And nobody is saying anything about it. And African Union even is not saying anything about it. So African Union should seize the opportunity to come out gun blazing, supporting South Africa so that the rest of the world get it as a one common message coming from Africa, that the international law must be upheld, because through that, there will be no land invasion. Through that, there will be nothing that constitutes insecurity toward not only Africa, but across the world. I mean, look today when we see what is happening in Venezuela, you know, what happened in Libya, you know, and even in Sudan, you will see that foreign influences are coming into Africa, going somewhere else, imposing their will, and nobody's saying anything until South Africa stood up to say, we need to respect, you know, the international order. And you see Africa didn't come into the party to support that. So when we look in that perspective, we will see that African Union is not playing its role properly, and we need to really to change the thing from the beginning, scratch from the bottom and build another institution. I will leave it there. Thank you.